Hello and welcome back to the Cruis'n Family YouTube channel. My name is Chris, and before I start my Icon of the Sea review, I'd like to give a big shout out to Evan. He has his own cruise channel. It's called Family at Sea. You should go check it out because he's always supporting me, always commenting positive things on my channel. So I really appreciate you, Evan. Big shout out to Evan. Check his YouTube channel out, Family at Sea. All right, so let's get right into this review here. First and foremost, this was my 10th cruise. Um, all 9 cruises before this one have been booked direct through the cruise website, whether it was MSC, Carnival, Celebrity, Royal Caribbean. Um, I booked it straight through the cruise website. This time around, I was shopping on Costco's app, and I noticed they have a travel section, and in their travel section, they offer cruises. So I checked it out. First thing I did, I noticed Icon of the Sea was an excellent price, so I checked out the price on the cruise website to see if it matches up with Costco, and it was the exact same thing. So I got a $3,500 interior balcony room, including gratuities and taxes for 2 people. That is an amazing price for Icon of the Sea because Icon was crazy expensive in the past. For a balcony room, you're looking at like almost $8,000 for 2 people. So that was an amazing deal. Half price off. Was my wife's birthday. Uh, Royal Caribbean was celebrating their birthday, so it was like a big birthday bash for my wife. She really enjoyed that. So ended up booking through Costco because they offer a lot of incentives. A lot of people don't know this. So if you didn't know this, please like and subscribe to this channel. Just click that button. Please help us out here. So let's get into the incentives. This is all in Canadian dollars, by the way. They gave me $160 to shop at Costco. They gave me $175 onboard credit, and they gave us a specialty dining voucher for 2 at any restaurant with the exception of Izumi Hibachi. But amazing deal. That's almost $500 worth of incentives. So yeah, I booked through Costco, and I'm going to do it again because why not? Free money. So yeah, nothing was an issue. Everything worked out perfect. After I booked through Costco, I went on the Royal Caribbean cruise site and verified that the booking reference was the same and there was no funny business going on. I called about my onboard credit and specialty dining. Everything lined up perfectly. There was zero issue. So definitely booking through Costco again. That was well worth it. Okay, so let's talk about boarding. We got there at around 2 p.m. to the cruise terminal in Miami. The reason why it was so late is because we had a plane delay. Our flight was delayed over an hour, and we didn't book the earliest flight. It was just me and my wife, so we just decided to take a little bit later flight than normal. We've done this in the past. Well, all pretty much only one cruise was we flew in a day before because it was actually cheaper flying in a day before. So and it was LA and we wanted to go sightseeing and whatnot. So just everything worked out. But for all of our cruises, we fly in the same day and we select the earliest flight. This time around, the earliest one was double the price. So we decided to go for the third flight, I think it was. But anyways, if you're gonna do this, make sure it's the earliest flight and make sure it's a direct flight. Do not take a connecting flight. You don't want your luggage to get lost anywhere, and you don't want to miss your cruise. Make sure it's the earliest flight. Our all aboard was I think 4 p.m. or 3:30, and 2 p.m. is cutting it too close for us. So definitely we're gonna book the earliest flight next time around. But we got to the terminal, the passed through security really quickly. It was nice and easy. They took a photo of us. They have new AI recognition when you leave the ship and you just look at this camera and the doors open up. So that's the reason for them taking a picture a second time as opposed to you just taking a picture through the app. So yeah, just in case you're wondering. But quick and easy, very very good experience. No complaints there. So when we got on board now, this is the good stuff now. The very first thing we saw was the Pearl. The Pearl was spectacular to see in person. It was just ginormous. It was so colorful, is inviting. Um, we just stopped with our suitcases and our bags and decided to take some photos because that was amazing to see in person. Like if you haven't seen the Pearl, you're gonna be in for a surprise. Mind you, taking pictures at the Pearl isn't the greatest experience because the color that the Pearl has, like inside, the colors change on the tiles, and whatever color it is, it's just gonna overwhelm your picture. So if it's blue and you take pictures by this blue Pearl color, then you're gonna come out looking like an avatar. So just be prepared for that. Unless you have a professional photographer take photos, or if you have a really nice professional camera, maybe you could get by. But otherwise than that, the Pearl was spectacular to see. I really enjoyed that. We practically took a photo there every day, even though it came out bad. Pearl was amazing to see. Anyways, I really liked how they moved the aqua show indoors from behind the ship, from the back of the ship. Sorry, it made the aqua show so much better because you're inside now. It's more of a cinematic experience. The sound quality is booming and the visual effects are there, and the aqua show was spectacular. This is a show that you need to see, and just for your information, you have to get there 45 minutes to an hour early if you want to be seated in the middle section. Those middle sections go out quickly. We showed up 35 minutes early thinking we were going to get a good seat, and boy, we got some seat at the corner, like the far corner. So yeah, the aqua show is really hot. You need to get there very early because this is a show that everybody wants to see. Aqua show was amazing. 10 out of 10. I saw it twice. So yeah, that was a great experience. And what they did with the back of the ship now is turned it into a family oriented, fun zone for kids, and it was really cool to see. I would love to take my kids on this ship or any of the Icon class ships. Very good water slides, splash pad. You got the merry-go-round, you got the arcade. It was family friendly back there, and I really appreciate that. Although we didn't spend a lot of time there because we didn't have our kids, but that is really cool to see. We're definitely going to take our kids on Icon or one of the Icon class ships and enjoy the back of the ship. But since we're on entertainment, the entertainment was spectacular. Icon and Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, they don't mess around with entertainment. Entertainment is the best at sea, period. Period. Nobody's gonna top that. It's gonna be very hard to top it because their shows are so premium. If you're looking for a show like Cirque du Soleil type quality, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity have that. That's what it's gonna be about, and of course Disney, right? But I'm telling you that the shows were great. We saw Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz, another great show. It was about 2 hours long, so just be prepared for that. Don't drink too much. You're gonna be going in and out, disturbing other people. But it was a great show. I loved how they kept the original storyline, but made it a little bit modern, and it was perfect. The acting was great. I love the Wicked Witch in that movie. It was great acting. Wizard of Oz was great. There's this other show called The Effectors. This was a hidden gem. I never heard of this show. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos ahead of time going on the cruise just to see what I'm going to be looking at and what to expect on board. And I never heard anything about this. This is like a superhero type, Marvel type show, and it was so techy. They had like these high end laser beams like all over the place, and out of nowhere 70 drones just flew out of nowhere, and there was a drone show. Like, this was spectacular, and there was only like about 40% of the theater full. Like, nobody knew about this show. I just saw it on the app and I just said, you know what, we need to kill time before we go to our specialty dining, and there's a show going on. I want to go see it. Sure. Boom. We went over to the theater and this was going on, and it was amazing. I'm so glad I saw it. So check out The Effectors too. That's a great show. And of course, the ice show is spectacular. Now, I want to know if that guy who was juggling these orbs, was it attached to rope or not? I'm saying it was. My wife is saying no, it wasn't. He was just juggling these things, and was like too boomerangish for it to be not attached to ropes, and they went back up into the sky. So I don't know. But anyways, that show was great too. All of the shows, 10 out of 10. Other entertainment like stand-up comedy, live music, everything else was great. They had a bunch of balloon drops. They got some like the what do you call it? The main the main area, deck 5, had a lot of like parties going on. That was great. Like the cruise directors were great. There was two cruise directors actually, a co-cruise director and the main one, and they were awesome. They were awesome. Sorry. The shows were great. I have no complaints there. The entertainment was amazing. Everything I could think of was great. So I kind of see totally rocks, man. It's like they took the Oasis class ships that was already perfect and made it even better. Made it like 20% better. Like that's a big jump to make something that's already perfect even better. Like what can you say? Like I only can say good things. I kind of see rocks. You should definitely check it out. All right, so the food on board was so delicious. I mean, there were so many different venues you could eat at, and because of that, it made the main dining room and the main buffet so much better to eat at. There wasn't this big enormous crowd. You didn't have to wait for your seat too long or anything like that in the main dining room, or in the buffet it wasn't so crowded. When I went on MC World America, the buffet was so packed that I had to balance my food, and like excuse me every second, and people are all over the place. It was incredibly packed, but the main buffet area on the Icon of the Sea was just so perfect. It was nice and smooth. Get your food, sit down. You don't have to wait long for seats or anything like that. It was a great experience. I really enjoyed it. And like I said, so many different venues you could eat at. You could get Asian cuisine. You get Mexican food. Just traditional food, Italian food. Everything was there, all in different places. So it was a great experience. Have nothing bad to say about that. They even had a Caribbean night. The only gripe about the Caribbean night was my fault. I ate too much for lunch because the food was too good at lunchtime. I was just like, man, I was eating at this other venue there, and I had some Asian food here and some other stuff, and it was just too good, man. I had like a bunch of food. I ate like a pig that week, but I wish that I ate less for lunch so I could double up on dinner, because dinner was off the chain. If you like Caribbean food, you're gonna have a good time. Just keep in mind, eat less breakfast and lunch so you could pig out on dinner. But yeah, the food was great. One thing I will say is that Sorrento's really, really went downhill from the last time I went on Royal Caribbean, which was in 2021. Um, I overheard that they were gonna charge for eating pizza on the ship, like to get a couple slices of pizza. They're gonna charge you, but there was such a backlash that Royal Caribbean said, you know what, we're gonna keep it free. But it looked like they really decreased their quality. And when I had a pizza slice or two, it was just terrible. It wasn't good at all. And I'm really disappointed about that, because I always said that Royal Caribbean has the best pizza at sea, and when I had it, it was terrible. So, uh, oh well, you can't win in everything. So the ice cream was okay. The soft serve ice cream was okay. It wasn't that great. MSC has the best ice cream at sea, period. Oh man, they got the waffle cone, they got the sugar cone, they got the extra extra large ice cream. You tell them to make the ice cream this big, they'll do it. You know what I mean? But Carnival just, I mean, Royal Caribbean just had this little cone, and then they swirled it around 5, 6 times. It was nothing really. But the hard ice cream in the main dining room is great. I have that for dinner every night, so that was great ice cream. But food was great, no complaints there. Actually, there's something I do need to mention. So the Pearl is a hotspot. There's always shows going on in Deck 5. There's big shopping events going on in Deck 5. Deck 5 is just like the main deck, and They have a lot of things going on, and the Pearl is a hot place to sit at, to watch some of these shows, to wait for the shows to start, or wait to end for any event to start. The Pearl Cafe, really good, but the seating is terrible. It's deplorable. It looks like it hasn't been cleaned since the ship set sail. Like, it looked really bad, and they use cloth seats for such a high traffic zone. Why would you do that? They should have put leather seats, or just like some type of seat cover that's easily wipeable or easily washable or something like that. Like, because those seats look terrible. Like, ugh. I would not want to sit down and eat my food in those seats. It's just nasty. But yeah, that's the only bad thing I'm gonna say about any of the dining areas. That was deplorable. Royal Caribbean has to fix that up. Icon, come on, get your stuff together with that. But I mean, it's a nice area. It's a nice big window. You could see the ocean, and it's a nice chill area to sit at, but not in those seats. Please change those seats out. Okay, let's talk about the ports. So we started off in Costa Maya. That was our first port stop, and we decided to go to Chocho Mayan ruins. It was a decision between Chocho and the Chichen Itza in Cozumel. But the thing about the Chichen Itza is that it's a 7 hour ride to there and back just to see the pyramid. And the thing about these pyramids now, the Mayan ruins, you cannot touch them, you cannot climb them, you cannot go inside of them anymore. So all you're doing is looking at them and taking pictures. That's about it. And mind you, they charge you $4 if you're going to record anything. If you start recording, you're going to have to pay $4. Just keep in mind. So that really swayed me away from the Chichen Itza. Although it's more aesthetically pleasing to look at, we decided to go to the Chocho Mayan's ruin in Costa Maya, and it was only a 40-minute drive. So that worked out perfectly. So on our way there, there's really nothing to see. You're driving through like this forest area. It's a traffic, just one direction. Then I think you'd make a left or something like that. Then you're there. But it was kind of an underwhelming experience. The pyramid was well kept. It was really nice to see. We had a tour guide. He mentioned a few things. He didn't dive really into the history too much, but my thing is like, there, I was expecting an immersive experience. I wanted to know how they lived, the money that they used, like, what did they do, like, what did they believe in, or the clothes that they wore, or anything like that. There was no connection to what I was seeing. I didn't feel connected to it at all. And on top of that, I can't climb this thing and go inside of it or touch it or anything like that. So it was really underwhelming. And the reason why I say this, because I've been to Ephesus, I've been to the Acropolis in Greece, I've been to, I've been a bunch of places all over the world. And a big thing for such historic sites is to have museums. You need a museum for people to get an immersive feel of what this place is, and a better explanation of how these people lived. And the tour guide tried his best. He pulled out some pictures out of his backpack, but it just felt like I just didn't feel attached to it. I didn't feel connected to it. Like when I went to Ephesus, for example, they gave us 3D glasses. And when you switch on these 3D glasses now, you could see what this place looked like in the past. You're looking around, wherever your head turns, you can see with the road and everything. It just felt like an immersive experience. And you go to a museum and then you see these ancient artifacts and stuff like that. Like, I just didn't feel that with the Mayans ruins, and it was really disappointing because I really wanted to see this from back in 2023. I went on Princess and there was a storm at sea and the ship wasn't strong enough to dock at the port, so that's why we had to cancel our excursion. And now I got the chance to see it and it was underwhelming. So, and this was our only excursion that we booked all week, so it's unfortunate. Still great to see, still a great site. I really enjoyed it. However, I'm a historian. I love the history and I just didn't feel that. So I give it only a 6 out of 10 on that excursion. But I'll recommend you go see it for yourself. Maybe you'll enjoy it more than I did. To each their own, right? So our second port stop was in Honduras. Now there was a little bit of a mix up on our end. We were super excited to go to Honduras because we had a blast last time. Last time we went with Princess and we went to Mahogany Bay. Royal Caribbean does not go to Mahogany Bay. It goes to Roatan. We did not know. We didn't really look at the ports, to be honest, when we booked this cruise. We just wanted to go on Icon. It was all about Icon. We had a blast on Icon. The ports was just secondary to us. So we get off at Roatan and we're just like, wait a minute, where is it? Like, I don't recognize anything. And this is when we realized that Mahogany Bay and Roatan is totally different. So yeah. So we get off and we notice a whole bunch of people going back on the ship. A ton load. It's like an exodus leaving Roatan to go back onto the ship. We're just like, what in the world's going on? So when we got to the main area now, the main area in the port, we realized there's really nothing here. There's just like a little tiny man-made beach with a really tiny pool. You unload this big ship that could hold 8,000 passengers onto this little tiny pool and sand area. Like, it just didn't even make any sense. Like, so I asked my wife, hey, you want to get a drink so we get free Wi-Fi here, or do you want to go see if we could go to the beach, go book a third-party excursion and hit up the beach for a couple hours? I said, yeah, let's go to the beach. All right, so I went to the third-party excursion guy, spoke to him, asked him where the nearest beach and how good is the beach, and asked him a bunch of questions about free Wi-Fi and so on and so forth. He said, yeah, West Bay Beach is the best beach in Honduras. His exact words. I said, all right, cool. How much is it? $20 a person. Oh, great. Let's go. Boom, boom. Paid him the money. Went into the van, and there was another family in the van. We said hello to each other. Really nice family. Enjoyed each other's company. So we leave the port area now. 15 minutes into the drive, so the third party excursion guy said the beach was about 30 minutes away. So we're 15 minutes into the drive now. And the driver says, oh, by the way, there's a $25 fee per person to enter the beach. Immediately, everybody furious. Furious. Thank you for telling us after we left the port. Thank you so much for telling us after you took our money. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Terrible, terrible business. Terrible business. And he's like, oh, don't worry, everybody. Like, Floyd Mayweather stayed here at this beach a couple weeks ago and he didn't want to leave. So we're just like, man, this guy is not telling the truth. But we already left. We're having a good time with each other. Let's just go. We get to the beach now. The beach was horrific. I've traveled all over the world. I've been to beaches all over the world. This was the worst beach I've ever been to. The beach was dirty. The beach was tiny. The Wi-Fi didn't work. The food was overpriced. The water was sectioned off because we were doing jet skiing and some other stuff out there. The water was, the beach is already tiny. You can't even go 4 meters into the water because it's sectioned off. So you can't even go for a nice swim or relax or anything like that. It was just such a bad experience. It was terrible. Not only that, I had to go to another beach and get my beach chairs and bring them over because there's no beach chairs left. So me and my wife could sit down and, get some sun or something. And once we sat down, there was so many people coming up to us and asking for us to buy stuff. You want a shirt? You want a hat? You want slippers? You want a massage? You want this? You want that? Are you kidding me? We only had 2 hours here. We paid $90 for this crummy beach, which the Wi-Fi didn't even work. It was such a bad experience, and I saved this for you guys so you guys could see. Foster's West Bay Beach. This is the information. Do not go. Don't go. Don't go. I'm telling you, it's a tourist trap. The guys at the port just want to get rid of you and take your money. And then the driver is going to take you to some crummy beach where you're going to get upset at and wish you stayed on the ship and enjoyed the amenities. That's what we should have done. But I was so into going to snorkeling because when we went to Mahogany Bay, right on the port, they have a coral reef. You don't have to pay anything. You just jump right in the water. It's like you're in Australia. The coral reef was spectacular. So that's what I was looking for. I was like, man, maybe this beach has something. Let's go. Nothing. And my wife was just there disgruntled. So I don't like bad business. I don't like slimy business. Just be upfront with people. In this day and age, you could ruin your business by being slimy. Just be upfront. All right, so our third stop was Cozumel. Like I said, we didn't book any excursions. We just wanted to walk around and, see what the local shops look like, see if we could buy any trinkets or anything like that, and just go for a walk, nice walk. And that's what we did. We went for a walk. There was barely any business around, houses and apartment buildings. There's a lot of small resorts along the seashore there, but really nothing to see. We walked in one direction for about 50 minutes and saw nothing. Did a little walking tour, which I'm going to post, by the way, but really nothing to see. So if you're going to Cozumel, definitely book an excursion there or stay on board because there's absolutely nothing to do when you walk off and leave the port. There's nothing to see. But it was a good experience. I really enjoyed the walk. It was really nice and hot outside. Definitely bring something to drink and wear a hat. Get your sunscreen on because the sun was beaming. So you don't want to run into any problems, and don't go into any off street that you don't know. This is Mexico. It's not super safe. And yeah, that's what we did. We stuck to the main road and we just walked back. So great time. And last but not least, Coco Cay. Coco Cay is still Coco Cay. They are still the king at the private island owned by any cruise line. It's family oriented. They got sports court, basketball court. They got volleyball. They got a big pool, splash pads. They got cabanas there. Everything is there that you could think of. Coco Cay is an amazing time. My only thing that I don't like is we mostly leave at 5 p.m. I'm trying to stay the whole day. Give us 24 hours at Coco Cay, please. Do that one time, man. Have fireworks at nighttime. That's what I'm looking for. I want that because Coco Cay is that good. I love Coco Cay. I wish I could stay there longer. I wish they could just have a cruise that just goes to Coco Cay for 3 days and then, go other places. Coco Cay is amazing. I love Coco Cay. It's definitely a place that you should try out. I know other cruise lines are, trying to compete. Coco Cay is actually going to open up again in Mexico. They're opening up a new spot there. So definitely Royal Caribbean's leading the edge in private island stops. So definitely check out Coco Cay. Coco Cay is amazing. So in conclusion, Icon of the Sea is iconic. That is super cliche for me to say, but it was a spectacular ship. Like there's nothing that I could say bad about it, minus the few little small stuff, pizza and the little dirty chairs or whatever. But Icon of the Sea was amazing. I wish I went longer for like 2 weeks. That was one of my favorite ships I went on. The entertainment was amazing. The food was amazing. I have nothing negative to say. Very family oriented cruise ship. I was very surprised at how they made it so family oriented. It's way more family oriented than the Oasis class ships. I would say that it's like a step up. They really focused on family with this cruise line here. So very, very good ship. I would advise you to go. I give it a perfect 10 out of 10. And if you stay this long and watch this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your next family cruise vacation. Once again, my name is Chris, and bon voyage. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.